Good Wednesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV. The internal combustion engine age YouTube channel talks all about my cars and trucks and motorcycles and SUVs, the dog Kiefer, and the kid, Popcorn, Uncle Davey, Florida. Hey, good Wednesday morning there. Wow, I just can't keep track of time. I thought it was Thursday morning. Oh my gosh. And hey, here I am down here in Florida. And as always, thanks for tuning into my channel for the morning conversations. I really do appreciate all the help and support. Yeah, do I need help? I need help, absolutely. And those that watch my channel do help me. So thank you so much. And hope you're having a blessed day. And here I'm down in Florida with my neighbors. They're getting the moving company in because my neighbors are leaving. Pretty incredible how some neighbors right over there, they've been here, I think, about 5 years. And they're moving to Greenville, South Carolina. So today's the big moving day for them. And for me, it's the ongoing conversations on the Ice Age TV YouTube channel, bringing you content that maybe gives you information, gives you some enjoyment, gives you some just share our views and ideas. And I tell you what, it's just incredible. When I travel around, I meet people. I'm a people person. I'm a talker. I like to interact with others. And it's just incredible in how I will run into people and we're on the same page. I'm just really blown away on how we live in a society more than ever where the media machine, the technology machine, is feeding information to people that I think is just so, in so many ways, corrupt. Yeah, the corruption of media probably is at the all-time high. I think many would probably agree that we have corruption beyond believable. The reason I bring this all up, what are the odds? I mean, here's something, being that I'm here in Florida, and so many people that have older parents, I'm sure you can relate with these stories. It's very challenging. I have a mother that's not in good health. My father, thank goodness, he's in good health. But it's very challenging because we have to revolve our day around taking care of my mother. And as a family support, thank God, my brother and sisters help, and my father, and I'm down here helping as well. But it also creates time constraints for me because I have to revolve my day around schedules for my mother, in which I'm going to do. I mean, that's priority. But here's my bikes, and have we been riding? We have made some really great videos. If you're on Instagram, you really should go to my Instagram account because it's Ice Age TV, YouTube. You should go check it out because I make more videos that are over a minute long with songs, and they're pretty cool. I was never an Instagram person. My daughter kind of got me plugged into that, and then it kind of just goes over the Facebook side. I was never a Facebook person, but now I kind of have that just to kind of get more exposure of sharing my channel and my fun, my antics. And so if anybody's on the Facebook or Instagram, you can find me on Instagram, but then it just populates to Facebook because I share those posts with those that I know. And so anyways, it's just pretty good content. But we did some great riding on Monday. Yesterday we did not because we had scheduling with my mother and then my sister. I went over to my sister's house yesterday where the RV bus is, and this is kind of going back to what I just said about how I travel around the Eastern Seaboard and I run into people in Tennessee and up where I live in Maryland, Virginia area, Florida, and I just run into people that seem to have the same views and ideas that I have, and I think that so many others do. And you're probably, well, what are you kind of talking about this for? Well, it's because, what's the odds? What's the odds yesterday? I went over to my sister's house, and we had a heart-to-heart conversation of what's going on here and trying to figure out what makes sense for the family. And it's not easy decisions, so it's very challenging. And I'm trying to help my sister support as much as I can. And but I'm not down here. Challenges, but I'm the kid. I'm the guy that my whole family left me. Don't take it the wrong way. They all moved here in the 90s, and I stayed up north. So I totally lost the connection with my family in many ways because I had to work and run a company and get my life going. And so I didn't spend much time down here. It wasn't until recent times. So now that I'm not down here as much as they are, they've got a lot on their hands because they're having to take care of a mother that's aging. So anyways, when I left my sister's house yesterday, where you saw the RV, the bus video yesterday, when my daughter goes, "Hey, let's walk down this pier. This is over in Oldsmar. We've got a beautiful park, and it's right there on the bay." And as we're morning, Ed. And so we're driving past the park, my daughter's like, "Let's go out on that nice pier and go hang out and look at the nice water." So we did. Well, as we're walking down the pier, there's this gentleman standing there, just kind of overlooking the railing, looking down at the water. The water is very shallow and clear. And just as a jest of fun, I walk by him and say, "Hey, did you find that gold ring yet?" And he laughs, I laugh, and he's had a cigar in his hand. And so my daughter kind of keeps on walking down the pier. And that pier is a good 100 yards long. And so he and I start talking. And we just start talking. We just start hitting it off. And he's older than me, but he's my era, per se. And he's a Brooklyn guy. Yeah. Phone here the other way. You have to look at my ugly face all morning long. So he and I just start hitting it off. And we start talking about sports. And then eventually he kind of goes to the State of Times. And he talks about his family. And I don't think Wayne's listening to my channel. He may be. But it was great meeting you yesterday, Wayne. And just great conversation. I mean, it was incredible on how long we connected on talk. And it's just like we were both connected. And that was what I was thinking today could be our content today is the internet. Because I've taken the technology side of video on Monday, the TV on Tuesday, and I thought today's conversation could be the internet. Where did the internet come from? When did it start? And I'm no by any means some astute, technology guy here, IT guy, but I did some research on it. I thought I'd share that with you today. So, and that's what it's all about is connections. It's all about connecting. That was what the internet was designed to do. Well, you realize or not, the original beginnings of the internet was about computers connecting to one another. Because computers have been around since I believe like the 40s. I don't know about the 30s, but as the 50s progressed and computer science was more pushed in colleges, the goal was to get computers to talk to each other. And that was a very challenging, long process to do that. And I don't think they really accomplished that until like the late 60s or early 70s. But going back to Wayne, so he and I connected. I mean, and we had a great long conversation. And then my daughter came back and she's kind of hanging around and she knows. And she goes with me and I run into an individual and I just start talking. She knows it turns into the 30-minute, yabba dabba do. Well, what's the odds of this gentleman walking down the pier with a cooler in his hand? And this is an area where people go fishing and do other things. And he's walking by us, and he's a little older gentleman, not real old, very elegant, sophisticated-looking type of guy. And he had his cooler thing, and I'm just making a joke like, "What are you fishing for, beer or fish?" And so he's laughing because I'm just figuring he's got his beer can and his cooler. I don't know, just to go hang out down at the end of the pier and have a drink and just kind of enjoy the scenery or whatever. So he stops, and we kind of start talking. And then Wayne starts telling him that, well, this is not the best time of year to be fishing because of the temperatures. And he starts giving a little inside information because Wayne's lived here in Florida for like 30 years. And he kind of knows the tricks of the trade and how to fish. And so he starts talking. But then we start connecting with, his name's Patrick. So we start connecting with Patrick. So now Wayne, myself, the Iceman, Pat, we're all now connecting to each other because we're all talking the same thing. We're talking about where we are in this country, the State of Times, the political stuff, and we're all on the same page. Anybody here knows, I mean, if you meet somebody that's on a total opposite page, that conversation's going to pretty much be stopped pretty quickly, or the odds somebody's going off the pier. Yeah, I mean, it can get radical because you meet somebody who has totally opposite views from what you have. So it was such a great connection, even to the point we all took each other's phone number, and we already texted for the future possibility of getting together to talk again. I mean, wow. And then Wayne was so impressed with my daughter Julia because the whole time she was there, she never ever pulled her phone out of her pocket. But you know what I think is funny? I don't know if she had her phone with her. But he was so impressed that my daughter hung out. And keep in mind, she went and hung out by herself for quite a while, but then she came back and hung out with us. And he was just like, I've never ever seen a young person like your daughter hang out and socialize with us, and she doesn't have a phone sitting in front of her face. I said, yeah, well, we just have a little different look in life because we like to get out, motorcycles. She likes to ride horses. We like to get caught up in the cars and trucks. And she's a motorhead, and she loves being outside and doing things. She's not excited about sitting inside and having to just sit around look at a computer. That isn't who she is. I know my wife and my mother-in-law and others only wish she was some young lady that wanted to go to college and sit behind a computer all day, and she was a bookworm or a computer nerd. That is not who she is. She's not who she is. She doesn't have, she has more of my personality. Yikes, that's dangerous, isn't it? Yeah, right. So anyways, if you're out there watching my channel, that's pretty cool. I really enjoyed meeting you. He's very knowledgeable, and I even told him you're a very astute individual, and he gave a lot of information, and he just shared his own stories. And it's these stories you just hear about what the colleges are doing to people these days. So it was just such a great time. I mean, it ended up being close to a 2-hour adventure, meaning from the time I left my parents' house yesterday to the time that I went over to my sister's house. But this was so crazy, is my mother canceled her appointment yesterday that we were supposed to take her to yesterday afternoon. And so things kind of got changed our schedule. So it opened up me to kind of hang out and not be in a rush back to the house to take my mother to the doctor. And so anyways, so then opened the door up for me to be hanging out with these other two gentlemen. And we just had the greatest time talking to each other. I mean, what is that all about, right? You know, in life as we progress. But it's incredible on how Pat said a great statement was, we are the majority. The minority have a totally different view of what is right versus wrong in this country. And he said, but the thing is, they carry a big stick. And I'm like, right, that's the thing. In all reality, I think the minority in this country have these radical views and ideology, but they're able to gather up billions of dollars for their green agenda views and their socialism views. And the George Soros of the world are funding these political figures and activists and all this other stuff. So, I mean, that's the challenge. The majority doesn't agree with these views, but the minority has the bigger stick, which I thought when he said that, I was like, wow, you hit it on the head. And so then we had Elon Musk stories and where things are going, artificial intelligence. And then Wayne was saying that the guy that figured out artificial intelligence, after he figured it out, he apologized to the world and he quit because he knew he just created the most devilish, meanest thing in the world. So that was, so it's just information. So once again, but here's the internet. So that's why I thought the internet would be a great conversation this morning, is because where are we today in today's society? I mean, I grew up, per se, not in the computer age, but at the same time, I did grow up in the computer age, because if you read, this is what I thought was intriguing, if you read about, when did the internet really begin? When did that really take off? What was the first computer that communicated to itself back and forth? And what's interesting is I think the computer, and it's all this different type of technology. If you go and look up the internet information on the packets, the pockets, the TCP, the TPS, or it's all this different type of language, and so the first, I think, computer connection to connection over landline, I'm pretty much sure that's what it was. Landline was in like Sanford College in California, and I guess Southern California University or whatever. So the two colleges, they were on the phone and they were looking at this computer. And the one gentleman sent an L to the other computer. And on the other line, the guy says, yes, I see an L. And then the guy sends an O. And then the other guy on the other side of the phone goes, yes, I just saw an O appear on the computer. So then he sends a G. And the computer crashes. So I guess they were trying to put in log in or something like that. So that was the first, I think it was like 1969 or 70 or 71 was the first time that they were able to get computers to actually communicate with each other. Because apparently the real goal was, back in the day, was the military and the universities wanted computers to be able to talk to each other, to be able to share information between the the universities and military, and it makes a lot of sense. So that was the true beginnings of so-called internet, of computers, and that's really all that's going on. At the end of the day, is we have our devices that are talking to each other. They figure out how to give us the information we want. So that was very interesting. But then you say to yourself, when was the internet actually? When was the actual internet used or found? So that was another thing. I got to get my phone right here. So sorry if I'm kind of screwing up here, but you know what? I'm not the IT guy. But let's just talk about this first of all. Here's look at this right here. This talks about the internet access. Internet access is a facility or service that provides connectivity for a computer network, or other network device to the internet, and for individuals or organizations access to use applications such as email and the World Wide Web. Internet access is offered for sale by international hierarchy, internet service providers, blah, blah, blah. So that's what internet access is. But let's go here, and let me see if I can find out. I disclose all my personal information here. And let's go here, and January 1st, 1983 is considered the official birthday of the internet. Prior to this, the various computer networks did not have a standard way to communicate with each other. A new communication protocol was established called Transfer Control Protocol Internetwork Protocol, TCP/IP. Certain people have seen those abbreviations. So that's hard for me to believe. So 1983, I just had gotten out of high school in 1982, and I can remember going to work at Fairfax Auto Parts, an auto parts store. And when I got to that, it was all books. And I can remember them bringing in DOS-based computers back like in 83 or 84, where we transitioned away from all the books, where we were slowly now evolving into the internet capability of gathering information and figuring out inventory for our store or the warehouse or other stores, where we could figure out who had a part that you needed and what parts were in inventory. And I was all part of that right out of high school. And I didn't really think to myself that I was kind of the computer age, the true beginnings of the computer age. I had no idea. I wasn't that type of individual. Even though I know computer classes were offered, I didn't have the foresight to realize that was something I could have probably pursued and maybe made myself even more successful in so many ways. But anyways, so that was 1983. But then you have to say to yourself, when was the actual first internet website page? Now this is interesting. So here's another thing that I looked up here, and this is all stuff that you can. This is all stuff you can look up. So flashback. This is what the first ever website looked like. So what year do you think that was? I mean, what year do you think the first actual website came up on the internet? This is what's pretty incredible. The first web went live on August 6, 1991. It was dedicated to information on the World Wide Web project and was made by Tim Berners-Lee. I think he was a British guy, I think. It ran on Next Computer at the European Organization for Nuclear Research. I mean, we're already exposing the web to nuclear research for the hackers. So here he is. This gentleman here was the first original website creator for the World Wide Web in 1991. That's just hard to believe. August 6th, even for me. So I don't know. Here's some screenshots of what his website looked like. Maybe not. But wow. I mean, I'm just like, wow. So 1991. I mean, I can remember when AOL, I can still remember in America Online, who was based right there in Ashburn, Virginia, where I moved to Ashburn, Virginia in 1989, and I moved out in 91 to that farmhouse. But that AOL was the true, one of the biggest internet service providers in the country back in the time, using landline. I can remember that so well. If anybody here's lived in D.C., Virginia, Maryland area, or just in America, just in general, America Online, you got mail. You remember that? There was even a movie of Tom Hanks and what's the lady's name? that had a movie that they were interacting with each other from New York to California. Meg Ryan, was that who it was? I think it was. You've Got Mail, I think, because people were starting to interact with each other. For that, in all sincereness, it was really crazy. My first marriage, the internet is actually what separated us in our marriage. Yes. I mean, kind of gets a little personal, but I can tell you this much: my first wife started interacting on AOL through the internet, and she'd be staying up all night long in chat rooms and interacting with others. And I mean, one night I walked into the room that she was in, and I said, if you think this is going to work, you need to go find a new life, because there's no way I'm going to support you interacting with unknown people that are going to be male individuals. And so that was really kind of the beginning of our relationship. Eventually, we got divorced eventually, but she moved out of my home, and she went to meet this guy in New Jersey that she thought was such a great individual. And she found out in the very early stages of the beginning of the internet and how fake it was. Yes, this is no lie. But I was like, yeah, right. So, but anyways, so the internet brought us a lot of good, but it's also brought us a lot of bad. And what kind of intrigued that conversation as well this morning was the latest information we're getting here now through the internet, because everything now is through the internet. I mean, all of our cars, I mean, look at my cars out here. These all have Wi-Fi capability. There's software updates that are streamed over the airwaves, the cloud. I mean, there's so much stuff that has been put in everything we own. You can remotely open your garage door, open your house door, ring doorbells. I mean, everything now is internet based. That's created all this technology, including the phone I'm handling right now, for you to be able to watch my videos through your computer or your phone or whatever. And so there's a whole new article out there that the governing bodies, the cybersecurity people, are getting very, very concerned about the future of these EV charging stations. Yes, there's a major article on how these EV charging stations are a huge hackability potential for people that are plugging their Teslas, their Fords, their Rivians, whatever it may be, in these charging stations, and hackers are getting all their information out of these their vehicles. And this is what I thought, is they're even maybe getting capability as your car is charging does it open the access door to reprogram your car? So if you have like a Tesla, I mean, I don't know. So when I take this conversation, I'm an expert on this, but I just think to myself, the hacking of your vehicle, your hacking of your information, I think it's more about they're hacking your personal information. But I think to myself as well, what if they can hack a Tesla where they put this corrupt program into the car that controls the car? So as you're driving down the road and you have this FSD, full self-driving, and they've corrupted it where this doesn't understand what you think it does, and it drives through a red light intersection, or it drives through a corner that it doesn't turn. It could go through. You go through the list of things that it could do. Is that possible? Is that what the concern is? That these charging stations are going to open up a door to people hacking your car or truck and taking control of your car or truck? Wow. Wow. As some people say on my channel, the wowsker effect. Ooh, is that unnerving that you are now driving these cars with all this technology in them and you don't even know that it's been hacked, and the car starts doing its own thing? Oh my gosh. Can you even, just freaky. So they're trying to get a better infrastructure on these charging stations to prevent from this happening. Just like the artificial intelligence. I'm sure so many people out there think, wow, this artificial intelligence, oh my gosh. You just can only imagine that there'll be an artificial intelligence that corrupts things. That somebody will design the master artificial intelligence that will just be on a mission to go and corrupt so much stuff and ruin so much stuff. And that's what its only primary thing will be to do. And I'm sure many will be like, yes, right. So now we're back to motorcycles. So on the motorcycle end over here, on the breakout, I don't think there's any Wi-Fi technology in that bike. I don't think there's any per se smart technology in the Breakout. I don't think there's any per se smart technology per se in the Lowrider ST. Breakout, really love it. Love the ST. I really just like my collection of bikes right now. I really do like what I have. But you get over here to the new 2024 Harley-Davidson new infotainment center, all this information, and even the previous generation here, the previous run now. This is the old stuff. That's the new stuff. You think, wow. So I just can't see it. In this bike here, I can't see anything that would have me concerned about my well-being per se, but I don't know. Once again, is there software in that entertainment system? I don't think so, but you got to think this through. This now has the technology in it to change the mapping in the motor for your track, road, rain, whatever it may be. So in that aspect, you think to yourself, wow, does somebody have the capability to corrupt that motorcycle where it just turns off as I'm pulling out into a major road and I'm going to get ready to get it, or I'm making a maneuver, whatever it may be? Does it overtake and lock up the brakes? Once again, I think it's far-fetched, but we live in an age of internet access that is controlling like everything. And that's what I talked about yesterday with Patrick. Was he had a little different view. He likes Elon Musk, and for the record, I'm not a person that doesn't like Elon Musk. I'm a person that I think Elon Musk is the double-edged sword, as I always say, because I think that he's opening the door up for the governing bodies of the world, to overtake what he creates. That's what I think is going to play out in our lifetime. We're going to witness Elon Musk that creates all this, the Optimus, the robots, all these self-driving cars. He has the Starlink, the internet. He has the chip for your head. I'm trying to think of what the hell that chip is. Neuralink. Is it Neuralink? Yeah, he has the Neuralink chip to be embedded in your head. And don't get me wrong, I think Elon Musk is bringing a lot of great things, but at the same time, I think that it's so dangerous because he's totally creating what I see the total control of mankind. Total control of mankind. It'd be unbelievable control of mankind. And I think it's going to be taken away from him. I think once he masters everything, I think the world, the governing bodies will accuse him as being a dictator, as being a person controlling the universe in so many aspects, and they'll take it away from him. I really think that's going to play out. I think you're foolish if you don't believe that, because there's no way the governments are going to let a guy named Elon Musk be better than them. There's no way. There's no way they're not going to eventually rein in the powers that he has and force him to relinquish those powers. I truly believe it. Hope I'm wrong, because it's corruption beyond believable. We live in the most corrupt information age ever, and that's what's so sad. We're at the highest level, and it's continuing to grow, technology, information, but it's so corrupt. It is training people to be somebody they're not, or training people to believe, and that's what Patrick was saying yesterday, is that what is actually false, they believe is true. You don't know what is true. That's what we live in today's society. And even Patrick shared his own stories on how he's witnessed for himself. You send your kid off to a college or the wrong university, and this is not criticism. If Patrick's watching my channel this morning, this is more about sharing information. I have many times had arguments with others, like for my daughter. It's like, I'm not sending her away to some of these colleges. Is she even going to go to college? I'd have to be very into depth of what the college is, because we know that more than ever today, the professors of these colleges are preaching and teaching ideology that for us, my age group, and others are just like, wow, and your kid will come back a different person. People have reached out on my own channel and have given me personal messages on how they sent their kid off to college, and when they came back, they're not the same kid. It's like they're, in so many ways, they're screwed up, and now you're the problem. Yes, it's just incredible what the internet age has done to us, and so much of the good aspect, but so much in the radical way of using the technology to advance ideology never seen in modern times. But I said that yesterday. Television, it was used as a propaganda machine. Yes, the internet is a propaganda machine. So what are you going to do today, right? Well, I got my bed rug in. My brother's slammed and having to do some work. I really need to go over his house. I can't put a bed rug in this truck here. You know why? Because as I'm putting this thing in, all the damn leaves are going to blow in the back of it. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. But finally got my bed rug in, so I'm going to put the bed rug in. And I've done it so many freaking times. But it is a little project. You have to unscrew these plates and a few other things. And then I'm going to put on my tonneau cover. And I think it'll be good to go. So then I'll have a nice tonneau cover, my bed rug. And then I got my big trunk. I can just throw all my gear and all my stuff in the bed of this truck and get hooked up to trailer and haul butt back up home. And yeah, my one guy who works for me next week, he's so overwhelmed with other things going on. I don't know. I may have to head back. May have to head back first of the week, so that's kind of too bad, but I don't know. We're still kind of mulling over, and then that means me packing everything back up. Yes, today be such a great day to go riding. My mother has an appointment at 3:30, so my kid isn't back yet. Dad ain't back yet. Do we get out and about and do some riding? I would like to get some ST time on the CVO. I got some great road glide time here. And then my one Biker Bug subscriber, he sent me an email, but it wouldn't open. It didn't work. But he asked me yesterday what size Clockworks, or whatever the hell you call this thing. Yeah, Clockworks. Windscreen did you put on your bike? And I'm like, I don't know. I just threw away the box. I just threw away the box of the windscreen, and so the box, the old windscreen was in the work Clockworks, but this is like 9 3/8 inches from here to here, and this is like 10 inches from here to here. So I don't know. You're measuring this thing from here to here, but it's the same size for the most part as the factory windscreen, but this has more of a curl, has more of a lip, and it is great. When I'm going down the road, it's very comfortable. I can see over the windscreen. A lot of people out there is you got to get a dark windscreen. I'm open for somebody to find me a windscreen that is about 10 inches high, and it's not going to obstruct my view, but I don't know. I really haven't looked into it per se, but I probably should. Just another $200, right? Yeah, it's just something always to spend money on. So to get some ride time on there, that would be pretty cool. The kid's bike, my brother's wanting to do an oil change. We're going to do an oil change that thing tomorrow, but I don't know. He's slammed on a job right now, so I'm not sure. That may be back up north of my own shop, kind of doing that, which isn't a big deal. So hopefully we can get the bikes out, ride around, do some things. Boating time, it's kind of cool out, but we just kind of had a lot going on here. And the thing is, with my mother, we have to be nearby, and somebody has to be here. So it isn't like I can just walk out the door and then disappear for half a day with nobody taking care of my mother. People understand all that conversation. Had older parents. It's not easy, but as we progress, that's what you got to do. You got to pull your britches up and take care of things. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's not easy in this physical world. We all have our ups and downs, and I do too. I mean, you don't, but I do. I mean, it's challenging. I've got many, many challenges on my plate that you just don't know about, which I'm not going to get into, but you just always have to have that view and look at life that pray for a miracle. I talk about that a lot, and, we all kind of tend to forget that if you're walking around and you're healthy, you're blessed, because there's a lot of people out there that can't do that. They can't walk around and they're not healthy, and it's not a good thing. I love this Wildtrak. This truck is so great. It's so much fun with that pipe and everything. And one of my subscribers, Randall, he sent me a really cool video of his Braptor adventures out there in Arizona. And that was really nice of him. He sent me a little short video. He and his wife are over there in Arizona doing some trailing. Oh, that'd be so much fun. I mean, I wish I just kind of probably had more access to that. Where I live, it's going to be more backwooden, I would imagine. And yeah, there's plenty of places to go off-road and doing this, but just being up in that open, that western, the desert feel, I mean, that's cool stuff. You ever watch videos? That is really cool. Would it be worth driving all the way out there just to do it? In some ways it would be. But it's me. This is my challenge in life. I have a business. My challenge, so many people are like, well, why don't you just break away and come see me? Like, and it's like, well, it's just like Dan, who's reached out to me up there in Canada. He's like, you should take a road trip up here. I would love that. If you watch one of my last videos that I made yesterday, it's about the freedom It's about escaping. For me, that's not easy. I've got a wife. I've got a kid. I've got a business. I've got property. I have parents that live in Florida. I have a mother-in-law that lives in Tennessee. So when I try to get away, do I ignore my mother and father? I mean, do I literally just go take and spend the time somewhere else? And then who takes care of my business? And that, I mean, so there's a lot of things that go on that you just don't know. So yes, no lie. There's some days I just feel like getting on a motorcycle and just start riding and don't turn around. Just keep riding. Just to have freedom. Yes, freedom. I mean, but if you're a parent, if you're a business owner, if you're family, I mean, how is my family going to look at me if I just go disappear? I mean, I know if I'll be like, though, how does that work? We're here working to take care of, our mother, and you're out hanging out, doing other things and not participating, helping, taking care of the family. So, and that's what starts to play out. And then you think, geez, there's sad stories out there. People know. There are many families where they're not even together. I've been blessed. We are. And you see my videos of us all being together and we all get along. And that's not easy in family. You know that. So anyways, going to kind of wrap it up. It's always the, got to get to, you're into a 36-minute video, Mr. Iceman. And as always, I'm really do appreciate those reaching out and sharing their ideas and comments and views. And that's really cool. And where's my breakfast? Where is the kid and popcorn? I mean, they're late. They're real late. Wow. What are those guys up to? You can only imagine, right? Yeah, you can only imagine. What a conversation do you think they're having? Yeah, and my daughter, she doesn't want to even think about it. They have to start, she's, I don't want to hear it, Dad. I don't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear it. But Kiefer boy, he's not going to be back until the 29th. So even if we head back Monday, the Kiefer boy's in training, and the trainer's going to be at a show this weekend. So the Kiefer boy, if we went back Monday, we wouldn't get him back till next, Friday. So, and that's a blessing there, I'm going to tell you. Anybody's watching my channel, I'm sure, yeah, man, for sure, you putting that dog in professional training, that's the best damn thing where you could put your money. And I don't disagree whatsoever. But then my challenge is, I'm not coughing and hacking anymore. I'm not, itching my body. I don't have all these little funky things all over my skin. It's called the dog dander. So when I get back home, yeah, right, wow. Yeah, that's a project. I have to rearrange my house. I have to start taking Claritin or get allergy shots, which I just hate all that pill stuff. Just who wants to put those pill crap in you, right? So anyways, that's it. I'm gonna leave it at that. And once again, thanks everybody. Share the channel, share the morning conversations. Hopefully, people are driving to work or over the road, or you just you're in your office, whatever you do. You have a chance just to kind of listen to me talk, and you can kind of get your day going, and hopefully that helps you get your day going and opens up new ideas and thoughts. And I always appreciate it if people reach out and going, hey, Iceman, you kind of didn't get that all right on that, but you got it right on that. But hey, good information. So once again, God bless, stay safe, and have a great day.